All right, dude, we are up and running. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to this training. If you are watching this, which I hope you are, on one of the platforms, whether it be on YouTube or Facebook or in my Facebook group, I want you to pay close attention today. I have one of my favorite people on the planet here with us today. Mr. Burton from Propstream is back. And yes, we have done trainings like this, but not to this level of depth about the best practices of Propstream. For most of you guys know that I basically require people to have Propstream if you want to be successful in real estate investing these days. It's actually kind of a requirement because at the end of the day, it's $97 a month. Yes, there's different programs, but it is the best, most useful tool, period, in our space right now. And so Burton offered his time again, reached out to me and said, hey, your tribe is super engaged. They're super loyal. They love it. So, if there's anything else I can offer. And I'm like, dude, let's go through the mobile app of Propstream. Let's talk about it. Cause I would be willing to bet most of you here watching this live right now, you didn't even know there's a mobile app in Propstream. And that's okay, because it doesn't get talked about a lot. So again, Burton doesn't need an introduction, but he is one of the high ups there at Propstream. He's Mr. Everything over there. And so he's the one I rely to really make sure everyone's utilizing this service the best as possible. So if you are just joining us right now, as this is a live training, let me know in the comments below the market you're in, what your name is, and your level of experience, what your market you're in, or maybe you're going virtual. Let me know if you're going virtual, the level of experience you have, and your name, and we will go from there. Burton, I'm gonna be quiet now, and I'm gonna let you take over this training on best uses of the mobile Propstream app. You want to take notes, shut everything else down, make sure you are paying attention here. All right, Burton, you're up.
Absolutely. Well, first off, thank you so much for having me. And yeah, today's topic definitely going to be about the mobile app. I do want to just put out there, our app takes a much different stance than most real estate apps out there. And let me explain. So, as you guys are familiar with, and let me project my screen here. Justin, do you see that by chance? I think you do. So, for most of you guys that are already familiar with our desktop platform, what you're able to do in our desktop platform is go to a market pretty much anywhere. Let's do Miami today, for example, and go into our filter, choose one of our 19 categories, or use over 100 plus filters to build your own motivated sellers or buyers list. What you're also familiar with is that if any of these properties like 3050 Elizabeth Street were to call you about selling their home or listing their home, you can search that property and click on it. And now we give you all of our information, right? We give you the property details. We show you if there's a mortgage that you need to worry about, the situational stuff, like if it's on market or if it was on market, if they own multiple properties. And finally, we even give you the ability to run comps. So you may not be a realtor, or this might be out of your jurisdiction as a realtor. And so you'll even be able to tap into our system to look at public record comps, properties that sold through realtors, right? See their price point, even take a look at photos of these properties as well to see their condition. So again, just recapping what you guys are already familiar with. But then this is something that we discovered as a company. We realized, okay, well, after they do all of this in the comfort of their office, well, they're probably going to end up visiting the property, right? And that's where things got kind of challenging for an investor, is because at this point, you probably have a manila folder with a bunch of paper in it, right? Your printouts, your comps. And that was what we discovered most investors were doing in general. So what we decided to do was to create a mobile app that would just complement what they're doing already, right? So what you're doing in the office, we wanted to complement you when you're out there on the road. Now, here's the thing. Our mobile app is not our desktop version. So there's a lot of differences to it. But what our mobile app does differently than other mobile apps is that we give you all of this. We give you our property details on the go. So if you do end up visiting the property or talking to the homeowner face to face, yes, you have your printouts, but You also have your trusted smartphone next to you. And so with our mobile app, this is what you're going to get. So let me now pull up the mobile app and show you what that thing looks like. So this is my actual phone screen right here. And so I'm going to go into Propstream. And here's another cool thing. It's not an additional cost. If you have the Propstream subscription, you have the mobile app at no additional cost. And as a matter of fact, use the same username and password to log in. So once you use the same username and password to log in, you're now on our main page. Now, again, this is what separates us from most apps instantly right off the bat is that on our mobile app, well, besides your toolbar being on the left side of the desktop, the mobile app has the toolbar at the bottom. But the first place that we put you in is the search page. Because yes, you might be driving for dollars, but what if the homeowner's out in front of the house? What if you have to go to an appointment? And this is what most apps were not thinking about, right? They didn't think about you actually stepping foot in that property. So what separated us from every other app out there is that I can now search properties and get their data on the go. So this 3050 Elizabeth Street, I can type that same address. And now have the same data, but just on the go. So what we did our best to do is make it in the same layout so that you're not stumbling while in front of a homeowner. The last thing we want you to do is not understand what you're looking at, right? So when you're using our data, our mobile app, when you're using the desktop version, again, when you go into the details, so when I pull up the details, you're going to see any available photo that we have of that property right off the bat, right? And guess what? On our mobile app, that's what you get too. So you'll get the address, its characteristics, and the photo. So I can swipe left and right or tap and see all the photos of this property. Again, this could be photos from last year. This could be current photos right now. Maybe they're calling you because they don't think it's going to sell. You're coming fully equipped. And so we're going to give you property photos if the property is on market or has been on market. Now, just like the desktop version, after we give you the photos, we then give you a summary of the property, like the length of ownership, whether it's owner occupied and whatnot. And guess what? That's also here. So below the photos, you'll see owner occupied and all that good stuff. Now let's do the side-by-side comparison. So address, great. Photos, great. Summary of ownership, great. But what else can you give me? Well, we give you everything that you were analyzing on your office. So if you want to know how many owners there are, that's property details. That's in our details section right here. Right, so we have several different options that you can choose from. The first one by default is details. And there we start with the property details. And it's in the same layout. Okay, we don't want to confuse you. So owner information first, property characteristics, building size, land location information, legal description in case you're maybe writing a contract out right then and there. Again, we wanted to equip you with this information. Now, just like our desktop version, if a property is going through a lien, it's going on market, it's been bought in cash, you get a designated tab. It's called the situational tab that talks about that situation. So this property has the MLS tab because it's been on market recently. And so with this property right here, there's the MLS button. And if I click on that, it's the same information. We also have the tax button, we have the transaction button, and the open loans button. And again, all of this is already on the desktop. Right? The tax, the mortgage and transaction history. So the goal was, we know you're going to visit the property, and we wanted to make sure that you have your little cheat sheet with you when you're talking to the homeowner. Plus, I mean, imagine going to an appointment with the homeowner and you pull out this phone, your app, and you have this in front of you. I mean, they're probably going to look at what you're looking at, and that might build credibility. They might say, what are you looking at? And you might say, oh, I'm looking at all of your property's information. And then you show them this app, and now they look at you like, wow, you're the first investor to walk in here with that. No other investor has that. right? And that instantly put you at the top because you came fully equipped, right? So that was the difference between our app versus everybody else's app. And so not only do you have the ability to get the property details, but we were also aware that sometimes you might be doing a good job building rapport with that homeowner that they want an offer right then and there. And so we gave you the ability to run comps on the go. So just like you can run comps on our desktop version over here, you can run comps on our mobile app while on the go. So the way that this works is that we didn't give you, I mean, we don't have enough room to fit all of these categories. So we just grabbed the comparables, neighbors, and cash buyers box. And that's what you're seeing here. Comps, neighbors, cash buyers. But just like the desktop version, you can filter these categories. So if I choose comps or neighbors or cash buyers, any one of those three can be filtered. Now, the filter option is this little board, switchboard picture right here that I'm spinning around on. Now, if I'm going to choose comps first, I just like on the desktop version, I need to choose whether I want public records or MLS records or both. And so I need to do the same thing here. Do I want public records? Do I want MLS records, or do I want both? And then I can go into the filter just like I can here. I can add 2 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. So if I tap on that little filter icon, I can now look for sales in the last 6 months or do a custom date range, add characteristics, add property characteristics, property type. So as you're essentially talking to the homeowner, this might come about. The homeowner say, hey, you know what? Make me an offer right now. Now, most of us would have probably said, I have to do a little bit more research. And then the homeowner may have never talked to you after that. Right? You might have just lost the lead right then and there. So not only can you look at the property's details while you're on the field, but you can run comps while you're talking to a homeowner. And here's why I personally like the comps section of the mobile app. You remember the photos? Oh, sorry. You remember the photos of this subject property we just clicked on? Well, when you're running comps and you happen to, apply your filters, one of the cool things is that your comps results are down below. But the cool thing that I like is that you'll be able to tap on your comps. So let's say number 2 right here. You can tap on your comps. Let's do number 4. Tap on your comps and go into the details of this comp and see the photo of that comp. So imagine the homeowner may not know what you know, right? Maybe their house is falling apart. Maybe they're a little bit stubborn. They keep asking for full price, and you're standing right next to them. Whip out your smartphone, go into the Propstream app, go into their details, their property details, go into the comps, and show them what the comps look like. You can say, Mr. Homeowner, I'd love to give you the price that you're asking for, but I don't think that's going to work out. They're going to say, why? Well, let me show you why. Your neighbor, which just sold this year in the last few months, and this is what their house looks like. Now you're asking for something more than what they sold for. So I don't see how you're going to get that price point if their house, which looks like this, sold for less than what you're asking for, right? Again, this is all about educating the homeowner. And so not only does the data give you the credibility, right? Imagine walking from room to room with the property details in front of you, the mortgage information in front of you. But when the time comes, maybe you're on the kitchen table now or in the kitchen, like sitting on the kitchen table. Now you can run comps and educate. When the homeowner wants full price, you can show them what full price looks like. And now when you make your offer, it's a justifiable offer. So the comp section is a very powerful section. I love this quite a bit. Again, it just gives you the ability to get values on the field. One last thing that we did in the comp section that I just can't stop raving about is that you'll be able to select your results that you want. And as you can see, 3 have been selected. We'll give you an average price of what you select. But you see this, what I call a hamburger button. If you click on those 3 horizontal buttons called the hamburger button, you can actually generate a report on the go. So if the homeowner goes, I need to think about it, and say, what's your email? Generate this report. It gives them the subject property, gives them their property, right? Then it gives them your comps, the low, the high, the average, shows them where they're at on the map, right? The sources that you use to run your comps. Very powerful report. Not only that, but again, once you capture that email, there's a share button at the very bottom. You can tap that share button, share it to a team member, or in this case, an external contact, AKA the homeowner. Because if the homeowner says, hey, I need to think about it, give them this report. So that way they can stare at that report and realize it's going to take a lot of work to get that property fully renovated, right? Not only that, I mean, you want to equip them with your information. So if someone tries to come up to them and, make another offer, again, you've equipped the homeowner and they might just thank you for that. And you might just get the deal later on because of that. So this is the comp section designed for getting value on the field. Now, again, let's say you're walking down the street, you search this address, you go into details, maybe you're running comps. Well, the next question that's probably on your mind is it actually an opportunity? Like, is it worth my time? And so when you click on opportunity, this is where we show you our calculations, the current value that we calculate, how the value has trended over the last 5 years, the estimated equity, if there's a mortgage, how many, in this case, one mortgage, and what we believe the mortgage balance to be, the last time it sold, both public and MLS records, if any. So again, what's important about that is, and let's get rid of the desktop, is you see, I could be searching properties by address or an APN number, or my other favorite is geolocate. Geolocate actually shows you where you're at on the map, because you might be in a house where the house fell apart, right? And so you can't see the address anymore. But geolocate lets you look at the map, zoom out, and then zoom in and tap on a property and view the details of that property. So again, 3 ways to search a property: address, APN, or look for it on the map. Regardless of which one you do, you're going to be able to go into the details right after. But my point is this: once you're in the details, yes, I get the property details. Yes, I can run comps on it, but it's the opportunity that most of us are interested in. We need to know if there's a mortgage we need to pay off. We need to know if there's equity on the property. Now, let's say it does qualify. Let's say, I'm driving by this neighborhood. I see an abandoned property. I search it. I comp it. I see that there's equity, but the homeowner's not there. It looks abandoned. It looks empty. Maybe it looks empty for a few months now. That's the fourth icon. That's skip tracing. So now I can skip trace the property if I needed to. So again, we go from searching either an address, APN, or geolocate. Maybe it's a property further down the street. You tap on it, you go into details, and then from there, details, comping, opportunity, and hey, I need to get your phone number. And so now you can run that skip trace and potentially get a landline, a cell phone, or an email. The fifth icon is postcards. So yeah, you can send postcards directly to this address from our mobile app. So we have several different postcards for you to choose from. All of them can be customizable. Like number 11, the green one, I can tap on number 11 and start editing. 3 different sections. Section 1 is the header. Section 2 is the body. Section 3 is the back. So if I wanted to change the header, let's say I don't like the color green, I can tap on that, highlight my header options. Oh, here we go. There we go. And now change the color to red, hit done. It's red. Now I can preview my postcard. And what you'll notice now is the title, instead of being green, is red. So it stands out a little bit more. It pops. Hopefully from there, they'll be able to answer and give me a call back. And then if I'd like this postcard, I can hit next and send out the postcard directly from the app, right? So you'll place your order from the mobile app. We'll send it to our publisher, and then they'll mail out that postcard for you. Oh, actually, one thing I forgot to note is we do have some postcards that are really cool, 12 and 13. These postcards, you can take a picture of the property, So there's this blue button, property picture, and that will let you take a photo of a property or choose from one of your library options and then put it on that panoramic, right? So if you see a broken window, you might want to take a picture of that, send that over. That might just get you the phone call you're looking for. So details on the go, comping on the go, know whether it's a good deal or not on the go, opportunity. Skip tracing to get contact information because they're not there, or sending a postcard so they call you back. These are the first 5 options. The 6th option are documents of the property. So any documents that we have, anytime you run a comp and save it, this is where we're going to store those documents. And finally, directions. So you may have forgotten how to get there from last week. Well, as long as you have the property, you can go ahead and get directions to that property. And then last, certainly not least, is to share the details of this property. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first thing that you can do with Propstream. Again, this is what most apps in this current market don't think about. They don't think about you getting out there and actually analyzing properties. They have the second half of what we have, which is the driving for dollars. Now, before we get to driving for dollars feature, one thing that you can do with our mobile app is you can not only pull up a property and again, view the details, but here at the top, you can save the property by hitting the heart button and it will fill it in with a red color. And when you save that property, it's going to get sent to the desktop version. You can also tag the property, and that's the tag button just to the left. So if you're talking to the homeowner, you can leave notes. You can set, tag it with set up an appointment, or we need to do a follow-up. And so as you're tagging, as you're leaving notes, when you favorite a property, what's going to happen first is we're going to send it into the favorites area, and that's the second icon. So any properties that have been tagged, or I'm sorry, saved, essentially you put a heart on it, will be in the favorites area. Now here you'll be able to filter by status, show me all the properties that have follow-up. You can add some filters here at the top right. You can filter your results by date ranges and so forth. But what we also do is that we will send your favorites to the the desktop version as well. So when I save a property on the mobile app, I don't have to analyze it on the mobile app, right? I can just save the property, put my phone away. And then when I get back to the office, I log into my propstream.com, the website version, and then I just go straight into my properties. Now, in your my properties, here on the left-hand side, there's going to be a mobile section. It's the very bottom section, and either your teammates' folders are here or your folder is going to be here. And when you click on your folder and your mobile favorites, that property, right, 17 San Gabriel, will also be here for you. So now you can revisit the property, but on the desktop. So favorites, which is the second icon, is where we store the properties that you're saving on the mobile app, but we also send it to your desktop version. Now let's talk about the drive feature. And this isn't going to take too much time, but the drive feature is our driving for dollars feature. And the first thing we're going to ask you to do is, do you want to record your drive? So you can tap on to record or leave it off and not record. Now the first option is just drive. This is what you're familiar with, where you can now mount your phone. If you tap on it, you're going to mount your phone on your phone mount and then start driving. Now, when you're doing that, we're going to show you the GPS map. Feel free to zoom out, zoom in. But we're going to start following your every route, your every turn and whatnot. Now, at the very bottom, you're going to see how long you've been driving, the distance traveled. The goal here is, let's assume I'm driving because I can't right now, but let's say I drove all the way over here and I see that this corner house is a lead. Now, again, we don't know the neighborhood. So if it's a neighborhood I don't want to stop in, then I'm going to push and hold that parcel and it's going to save that property right away for me. Okay, so if I just got to get in and out, push and hold, and then drive on. Now, if I have a second to view it, I can tap it instead and get a slight description of it. And if I say, oh, 4 bedrooms, I like that, then I can hit the heart button and save that property. Okay, so far there's two ways to save. Push and hold and save it. You don't see anything. Tap it, you'll see a small description of the property. Then you can save it. Or you can tap it, then go into the details and analyze it. So if you actually have time to stop and look at all that stuff, you can do that. And then you can hit the heart button here at the top right. Okay, so while you're driving for dollars, there are going to be three ways to save a property: push and hold, tap and save it, or tap, go into the details like I'm doing right now, and then save it at the very top. Now, if you take the long approach, actually go into the details, and we're actually put a red marker on that property because we figure, hey, you know what? If you're going out of your way to do that, that's a important property. So we'll put a green marker on that. And so the idea is you continue that onward. You keep driving and you save, you drive, you save, you drive, you save. Eventually, you're done driving. And at the very bottom, our status bar, and your durations, the distance, how many properties you went into the details on. So even though I saved 3 properties like you're seeing here, I only went into one of their details, and that's why it's called stop 1. Now, I'm done. I'm going to go ahead and hit end. If you didn't record your drive, you get one last time to save your drive and name your drive. If you don't want to do that, then just end your drive. Now, what that will do is it will not save your drive, but the properties are still going to be saved in your favorite list. So your drive was not recorded because you told us not to, but your properties will still be saved. Now, for those that do record a drive, your drives are stored in the More section. The More section is like your settings page. And in here, you're going to be able to go into the mobile activity drive log and see the drives that you did over the last 7 days or over the last, 30 days, or all the drives that you've ever done. And anytime you click on a drive, you'll see that route that you took at one point. So that way you're not repeating the same route. And the greenhouses, remember those? Yeah, those are the houses that you stopped and went into the detail on. And the cool thing about this is you can tap on those greenhouses and we'll bring up the details once again. So this is our drive feature, but this is the first part of driving, right? So there's the just drive feature. Again, you go in your car, start recording, and you're pretty much just freestyling it, just looking for those abandoned properties. Now we have the set filter and drive. This is only unique to Propstream. So what this allows you to do is to prospect for leads. So let's say you've driven to every abandoned property in your neighborhood, right? As a matter of fact, you probably could name them by heart. So if that's the case, does that mean there are no other properties that could be leads? No, there are tons. You just have to take a different approach now. And so this feature is called Set Filters and Drive. And what this allows me to do is set a radius around my phone. And that's what this option is here. So I can do a 15-mile radius or maybe a 2-mile radius around my phone. And then after you apply your radius, you have filters that you can apply. And if you're looking at this like, why does that look familiar? It's because they're the same filters on our search page, right? Here's the difference. On the desktop version, you're searching a market and then you're filtering that market. On our mobile app, you're filtering a radius around you, right? So 2 miles around where I'm standing, I want something owner occupied and occupied, because if I knock on their door, they're going to be there. And I want something with a lien, and I want it off market, and same filters as their desktop, so nothing new here. And I want it owned for 5 years by an individual. And this individual is motivated because that lien has $5,000 or more. Oh, and it's a tax lien. Let's make it worse. Apply. This is our set filters and drive feature. Rather than just going out there blindly, hey, how about you tell us what you want? And once you tell us what you want, this is what happens. We go out and we find the properties, and these are all the results that you're asking for right here, right? And before I even leave, before I even drive to any one of these houses, I can, look at number 21. Look at this one right here, number 20. Okay. I can tap on that property before I even leave the house. I can take a look at it, right? I can look at the details. This one's been owned for 5 years. So these are probably photos from 5 years ago. Right? There's the lien, federal tax lien, $63,000. Guess what, guys? It looks great on the outside, but the inside, ooh, there's something wrong, right? I can run comps to get an idea what this could sell for, get my numbers ready before I talk to a homeowner. I can see if there's a mortgage I need to worry about. There is, right? Mortgage and a lien I need to worry about. Now, I don't feel like driving today because it's raining here in California. So let me just skip trace Jason over here and get his phone number and call him. Or let me send Jason a postcard. Or let me look at his documents. Or you know what? Today seems like a good day for a drive. Let me get directions to Jason's house and knock on his door. This is our driving for dollars feature. This is called the set filters and drive. It allows you to apply filters within a certain radius, up to 50, and find leads that you want. And once you find them, like number 20, I mean, you could save it and then, worry about it later on. Or again, the idea is set filters and drive. If you're in the mood to talk to people, set a filter and let's start talking. Now, when you're done, you can hit end and call it a day. Now, do you want us to save your filter? You can save your drive or just hit end and nothing is saved. And the last area of our mobile app is the history section. So if you ever pull up a property, whether you save it or not, we're going to put a copy in the history section. Like that property with the lien, I didn't save it. Let's say an hour from now, I'm like, man, I should have saved that property. That's my neighbor. I could have helped them. Well, it's in the history. I go to history and there's that property. I can tap on it and back to that property we go. And then now I can hit the heart button and save it an hour or two or a day later, or even a week later after I initially searched it. This is our mobile app. 5 easy icons, search, favorites. This is all the properties that you save on our mobile app, which go to the desktop version as well. Drive, either drive for dollars, the traditional way, just record your drive and go out there and look for abandoned properties, or set some filters and look at these properties and then drive to them. History, anything that you've ever searched, we're going to put it in here just in case you change your mind. And then the more section, that's your mobile, just your account settings on your mobile app. And that's it. So again, the goal with our mobile app was to do 2 important things. Help you with driving for dollars, which is definitely a great way to get good leads. So use us for that. But at the same time, when someone does call you back, when someone says, hey, look, I want to, sell, but you got to come over this Friday and talk to me in person, our app is going to be there to guide you. So Justin, I want to thank you so very much, brother, for giving me the time to show the users, pretty much how we've approached this real estate mobile app scene with our app. So thank you so much, brother. Appreciate you.
Of course, dude. Listen, guys, if you're not using Propstream for so many reasons, but this just being one, you're missing out, right? Just go to tsofdata.com, tsofdata.com, use promo code TSOF. This is literally the only software I require people to be using. So this is everything. It is the comping tool I use every single day, hundreds of times a day. This is when I am in the field, I'm using this app for everything that you just saw Burton go over. This is everything. Again, TSOF promo code gives you 7 days free. TSOF data. It is the best tool in our space, guys. So hopefully this helped. Burton, I appreciate you, brother. Way to bring it again. I really appreciate you being here and delivering for us. And I'm sure I'll see you again sometime soon, my friend.
Yes, you will. Take care, guys. Thanks for having me, Justin.
Later, guys.